Miami. It's another star-studded marquee night in the region, and it is live. I'm Donnie Barnes. We'll see the weather conditions in Los Angeles tonight. It's been cool and partly overcast throughout the day. Temperature dipping into the 50s. Not the stereotypical balmy, warm LA weather tonight, but it should be terrific soccer weather and a terrific matchup between two clubs who have become major players during this decade. LAFC, backed by multiple Hollywood celebrities and serious funding and ambition, already two-time finalists in this competition and past champions of Major League Soccer. And Inter Miami, whose signing of Lionel Messi in 2023 has rocketed them to worldwide recognition and title contention. LAFC qualified for this competition by finishing second in the League's Cup last year. They reached the final of the Champions Cup in 2020 and 2023. They've already proven how seriously they take this tournament, both in past seasons and this year. They've rested players during league matches to try to focus on these games. After squeezing past Colorado Rapids in round one, where they fell behind 2-0 in the first leg before rallying back to win on away goals. Then hanging on against Columbus Crew after a dominant 3-0 win in the first leg, but a nervous away leg that saw them give up 2 first-half goals before holding firm and scoring a late one in Ohio to put the tie away. They know that Inter Miami will pose their toughest test yet. The Herons qualified for this tournament by winning the MLS regular season Supporters Shield last year. They got past Sporting KC in round one, which included a very tricky first leg in near 0-degree conditions in Kansas City. Then they were given a really good fight in the first leg by Cavalier FC. And finding the goals they needed both in Fort Lauderdale and in Kingston, Inter Miami, a pair of 2-0 wins to see them through to these quarterfinals. They've also begun the year in excellent form in Major League Soccer. They currently top the Eastern Conference with 4 wins and a draw in 5 league games. Defeated Philadelphia Union 2-1 over the weekend as Lionel Messi came off the bench and scored within 2 minutes, using his right foot no less. Messi is in the starting 11 for Inter Miami tonight. You put it all together, and Inter Miami have won 8 out of 9 in all competitions. They are unbeaten in 2025. In a year where they are very much in win-now mode. They reached the quarterfinals of this competition last year. They were eliminated by Monterrey as they lost both home and away against the club from northern Mexico. This year they are determined to go further and challenge for the trophy. LAFC, as mentioned, runners-up in this competition as they lost finals to Tigres in 2020 and Club León in 2023. This is another great chance for them to make a push for their first continental title. And it's not just the fact that the winner of this tie goes to the semi-final. It's also the fact that the winner of this series will play the winner of Vancouver Whitecaps and Pumas after Vancouver shocked Monterrey in the round of 16 and knocked them out. Right now, Vancouver and Pumas 1-1 very late in the first leg in Vancouver. So Pumas with a slight advantage thanks to their away goal there. But there is a chance that either LAFC or Inter Miami could go all the way to the final without ever having to face Liga MX competition. And if they do face Pumas, that's a side that hasn't been in very good form this year, in contrast to the goals rule is in effect. So any goals that Inter Miami could score as the away side in this leg could be the difference if the aggregate score finishes even next week. Yesterday, of course, we saw a pair of games to start this quarterfinal round, both ending goalless. LA Galaxy and Tigres finishing 0-0 just a few miles from this stadium in Carson, California, just outside Los Angeles proper. And there was another 0-0 draw as well to start the quarterfinal between Club America and Cruz Azul in the Clásico Joven in Mexico City. Here tonight, a near sellout expected. Lionel Messi, of course, always a huge draw, but this is such a marquee matchup regardless of who's starting for either side. A clash of coast to coast. LAFC, all their glitz and glamour. Inter Miami, with all of their star power, the Fab Four, their iconic kits. David Beckham is in attendance tonight. And the first of two legs to decide who goes to the semifinals. It is a much later start in Los Angeles than normal. 8:30 local time here on the west coast of the United States. LAFC normally start their home games at either 7 or 7:30 local time, but knowing they were going to have a large crowd for this one, with so much demand for tickets, they wanted to start later to give folks an opportunity to arrive through the always difficult midweek Los Angeles traffic. It often sees late arriving crowds at sporting events in this city.
Inter Miami and your Los Angeles Football Club.
So here they come. Inter Miami in their pink kits, LAFC in their black and gold, both sides in their primary strips tonight. How much drama will we see in the first act of this two-part series? In just a moment, we will hear the Champions Cup anthem, and then we will see the starting 11s and kick things off. It is LAFC and Inter Miami in the first leg of the Concacaf Champions Cup quarterfinals, and it is next. You hear the roar as the Champions Cup anthem concludes. The two sides shake hands before commencing battle in the first leg of this Champions Cup quarterfinal tonight here in Los Angeles. It's all cordial now. It'll get heated in just a moment. Let's look at the starting 11s. First for LAFC, sent out by Steve Cherundolo. Hugo Lloris in goal for them. He's been phenomenal this year. Back four of Hollingshead, Long, Segura, and Palencia. Mark Delgado has been a great pickup this season. Igor Jesus picked up a red card at the weekend, but he's in the lineup for this match because it's continental play. Denis Bouanga, always crucial on the front line. Nathan Ordaz is a young star leading the line up front. He's had a terrific season so far, just 21 years old. Cengiz Ünder has made a great impact since coming over from Turkey just a month or so ago. The general tactic for LAFC has been to defend well and score goals in transition. We'll see if they're able to do that tonight as the captains meet at midfield. Our match officials, led by O'Shane Nation, our center referee from Jamaica, of course. Caleb Wales and O.J. Duhaney are the assistant referees. The fourth official, Rian Radix of Grenada. And the VAR room tonight, led by Danian Parchment of Jamaica, assisted by Benjamin Whitty. 6 games in which he's appeared, he's already scored 5 goals with 2 assists. Well, the characters and the stars are all in place for a smash hit 2-part series. It's Hollywood versus Vice City, 90 minutes tonight, 90 or more next week for a spot in the Continental Final Four. We are in motion in Los Angeles in the Concacaf Champions Cup quarterfinal first leg. And LAFC straight to the attack, and they feed one toward Bouanga. And Bouanga catches up to this and crosses in. It's blocked out by a sliding Maxi Falcone. Early corner for the home side. And listen to the early noise inside BMO. Steve Cherundolo, very successful first few years in charge of LAFC. Led them to their first ever MLS Cup in 2022. Won the US Open Cup last year. First corner swung in low to the near post. Not cleared convincingly at first. First touch for Lionel Messi. Couldn't keep it in play. Here's a throw, though, for Inter Miami. The expectation from pundits coming into this one was for Inter Miami to have the vast majority of the ball. They are expected to have possession. They like to possess the ball. LAFC generally do not under Steve Cherundolo. They prefer to let the other team have it most of the time and then try to hit them in transition on quick counterattacks, using the speed of Bouanga and Under and the players they have on the wing. So expect to see a lot of this. Inter Miami with the ball. The question is, what do they choose to do with it? What can they do with it against an LAFC defense that is often very good, very stout? If you turn the ball over in the wrong spot to them, they can really hurt you. Javier Mascherano, an unbeaten start to life as Inter Miami's manager. Mentions 9 games in charge overall, 8 wins and a draw in league and continental play so far. Here's one of these long diagonal balls into the run of Bouanga. It's inch perfect. Bouanga's first touch, though, was not. It was sliced out, though, by Lujan. It is a goal kick for Inter Miami. Bouanga claiming a corner, but it was not awarded. Maxi Falcone, long out of the back. He's been such a great pickup in the offseason for Inter Miami, helping stabilize that center back spot. Great switch with the feet by Hollingshead. And to play it to the path of Ordaz. Swept up, though, by Lujan. Ball was not kept in play. It's an LAFC throw. Mark Delgado was asking for a free kick after some contact on the touchline. O'Shane Nations gained a lot of experience in big matches like this over the last several years. Worked his way up the ranks in Concacaf over the last decade. This is one of his bigger assignments so far. Just referee to the Concacaf Nations League semifinals last week. Inter Miami very patient with the ball early on. Lionel Messi now in the center circle. Sergio Busquets controls the rhythm in that midfield, of course, as he did for so many years for Barcelona. Flicked forward in the direction of Messi, cleared back to the midfield. Oh, a missed touch. This is where LAFC try to hurt you in transition. If you make a mistake like that, they couldn't pounce on the loose ball, though. Here's one of those important little moments as play is stopped because Falcone is down, but it was stopped because Yannick Bright had won the ball for Inter Miami to prevent a transition chance for LAFC. And Yannick Bright back in the starting lineup for the Herons tonight. He's such a key figure for them, even though he's hardly their biggest star. Falcone back to his feet. Falcone joined from Colo Colo in Chile in January. Nicknamed El Peluca, the wig. Very distinctive hair. Gonzalo Lujan. Fafa Picot. Bad pass, and this is where LAFC can be dangerous. Played it backwards, though. First touch for Hugo Lloris. He's made some sensational saves early in this season for LAFC. He made the save of the year so far against Columbus Crew in the second leg of that round of 16. Columbus were trying to tie the score on aggregate. And he made a miraculous stop to keep LAFC in front and eventually helped them see that out and advance to this quarterfinal. Bouanga, reversing fields, always shifty. Opened things up really well. Sergi Palencia on the right wing now. Cengiz Under trying to connect with Ordaz. It runs all the way through to Ustadi. And the 38-year-old can scoop it up. Experienced leader and shot stopper picked up in the offseason. Was originally brought in to back up Drake Callender, but Callender injured in preseason, and Ustadi has taken over the position for now. And he's been really good playing out from the back with his feet, something that Drake Callender has struggled with. It's given Inter Miami more options in their style of play, how they build up from the back. It's Javier Mascherano sticking with Ustadi so far. Example there of his calmness. And Inter Miami, of course, very aware of LAFC's danger in transition when you turn the ball over. So they're being very careful, a bit conservative early on with their possession. But Messi slices it through to Yannick Bright. And Bright connects forward to Luis Suarez. And Suarez tries to feed through to Picot. And it runs away from Messi. And Bouanga looks to play out for LAFC and does very well. And the 1-2 is connected and Bouanga's away. Denis Bouanga trying to cut in fields. Would have had something on if he could. Instead, Ustadi boots it away. Now Picot onto the loose ball for Messi. And Messi has options and feeds it to Fafa Picot. Picot into the middle. Runs all the way through to the far side. Now LAFC, game opening up a bit. Timothy Tillman. Tackled out by Lujan. LAFC throw. First leg is gone final in Vancouver, by the way. That ends 1-1 between Vancouver Whitecaps and Pumas. Vancouver had taken the lead in the 75th minute, but Pumas, a late goal from Coco Carrasquilla. Crucial away goal. So they will have a slight advantage when it heads back to Mexico City next week for the second leg. The winner of that tie will play the winner of this one in the semifinals. Busquets under pressure, but handles it well as usual. Here's Messi now. Over 10 minutes played. Again, Inter Miami not wanting to open themselves up to dangerous turnovers, being very secure with the ball. Busquets. One-touch ball out to the left. Jordi Alba into the middle. Messi is lurking. Back post, Picault. And it's scrambled away before Lloris could fall on it. Touchdown by Messi. Skillful as always, up against two defenders. And plays it off one of them for a throw. Fafa Picault sliding it in front. No chances taken by Aaron Long. Here come Inter Miami again. Cleared at the 18-yard line. Back wide for Segovia. He's had a terrific start to this season. Just 21 years old. Now Messi. Feeding Suarez. Clips it back to Messi. By the end line, Suarez keeps it in play, and it bobbles out. It's a corner for Inter Miami. Corner played short. Angle to Messi. Segovia. Alba. Yannick Bright. Clips it backside. Messi. First time ball into the middle. Punch clear by Lloris. Tracked down by Buanga, who wins the throw. Hugo Lloris already forced to scramble a couple times in these first 12 minutes. Messi very much involved. No goals yet in the first leg of this quarterfinal. At a bouncing BMO Stadium in Los Angeles. Yannick Bright. Jordi Alba running at the back line. Alba trying to play the 1-2 with Suarez. Segovia touches it back. Bright for Messi. First time ball intercepted. Hit the referee. That'll be a drop ball. Came off O'Shane Nation. He'll put it back in play. LAFC now looking to work it forward. Ordaz for Buanga. Over the top to the edge of the 18. Ustadi out of his area. Uses his head and uses it well. Igor Jesus recycles it for Ryan Hollingshead. Now Ordaz up against Falcone. Hollingshead continued his run. Falcone was in the way. Neat work by Segovia, leaving it for Yannick Bright. And Messi first time into the path of Picault. Picault trying to get turned, black shirts all around him. Messi wins the loose ball, but runs into Eddie Segura. Igor Jesus. Timothy Tillman, lots of space around the center circle. These are the spots where LAFC have had trouble breaking opposing teams down, when they're allowed to have the ball and they're forced to try to play creatively with it. That's not been their strong suit this year. They haven't really had a midfield that can make those progressive passes between the lines. But Tillman making a progressive run, doing it on his own, advancing the ball, spreading it wide now. First time ball into the middle, intended for Ordaz. Scooped up by Ustadi instead. And Messi's on the charge. And Messi chops it away from one. Messi cuts it back inside. Now Suarez goes down. Free kick, Inter Miami. Igor Jesus gave it away. 15 minutes in, dangerous set piece coming for the visitors. Jesus, who was just sent off on Sunday in San Diego in MLS play, which halted what was looking like a great LAFC comeback. They were 3-0 down. They'd gotten it to 3-2, but his red card really killed off their chances at completing that comeback. Well, you wouldn't think there would be much mystery as to who's going to take this for Inter Miami. It's Toronto with the word for Falcone while they have a moment. He's scored many from this kind of range. Will this be another messy moment? Lionel Messi over the bar. Not this time. Not right now. 0-0. Well, you always expect him to hit the target. It's always a surprise when he doesn't. Wasn't too far away. It's overhit. Inter Miami throw on the far side. Remember, the away goals rule is in effect. Away goals are the tiebreaker if they finish level at the end of the second leg. So it's a big deal to score as the visiting side in a first leg like this. So just as Inter Miami don't want to open themselves up to LAFC's dangerous counterattack, LAFC don't want to risk Inter Miami scoring those crucial away goals. So first legs are often cagey in two-legged series like this. Gonzalo Lujan. Messi holding men off, wins a free kick. Segura disagreed. Messi playing it quickly for Busquets. Messi and Yannick Bright playing a two-man game by the center circle. The LAFC set up in their banks of defenders, daring Messi to find a way through. Lujan goes long for Picot. Picot trying to get around the edge of Ryan Hollingshead, can't do it. Hollingshead, 33 years old, very experienced defender. Picot, plenty of experience too. This is his 6th MLS club. He's 34. Lloris under pressure, gets rid of it quickly. It's not always the best with his feet, Hugo Lloris. Can be pressured into mistakes sometimes. But his shot stopping has been off the charts for LAFC this year. Noah Allen. Jordi Alba. Yannick Bright. Segovia ran away from him. Shrugged off by Sergi Palencia. Segovia has gone down. Concerning for Inter Miami. He's back to his feet now. We've played 20 minutes in this first leg in LA. Free kick for LAFC. Tillman hauled down by Segovia. He gets told no more by O'Shane Nation. I think Segovia felt he was caught by Tillman a moment ago. You could see his lip looked like it was bleeding slightly. Segovia maybe trying to send a message to Tillman after he got back up. O'Shane Nation sensed that, and that's why he gave the warning. Here's Tillman now. Turns it over to Busquets. Messi takes it down deftly, explodes between two. Lionel Messi on the run. Ridden off it by a combination of Jesus and Delgado. Bouanga, though, dispossessed. And here comes Gonzalo Lujan, and down the line for Fafa Picot, who touches it around Ryan Hollingshead, but harmlessly out for a goal kick. Free kick for LAFC, given away by Noah Allen. They waste the free kick, but now it's pulled back by O'Shane Nation, and then a player goes down for Inter Miami. Ordaz involved. And things boiling up. Falcone clutching his face. Ordaz did appear to catch Falcone there. How deliberate was it? VAR can take a look at that if they choose. We're over halfway through this opening half. Tomasco Segovia being looked at by the Inter Miami trainer. It looked like his lip was bleeding a couple minutes ago. Just a few years ago, Steve Cherundolo was managing in the USL with Las Vegas Lights. They were LAFC's affiliate at the time. Finished in last place in the Western Conference in the USL. Next season, he was promoted to head coach of LAFC. It raised a lot of eyebrows. Promptly won MLS Cup. VAR is checking for a possible red card. Nathan Ordaz incident with Maxi Falcone. Let's see it again. Ordaz. And it's not massive contact, but it still doesn't look good. So does the VAR room recommend O'Shane Nation come over to the monitor. If they do, Nathan Ordaz could be in trouble. And you see from his reaction that is exactly what's taking place. O'Shane Nation will go to the monitor, and this could change everything for LAFC. Nathan Ordaz is just 21 years old. Maxi Falcone, all his experience. And that difference might have shown here. Ordaz, immature, unnecessary, and could be costly. I mean, it's clear contact with the hand to the face. O'Shea Nation has reached a decision. And after review, looks like it's just a yellow card. And Maxi Falcone can't believe it. Wow. And LAFC, and Nathan Ordaz in particular, heave a sigh of relief. Well, O'Shea Nation taking a lenient view. And again, you can understand why. It wasn't a full closed-fisted punch. It wasn't a huge amount of contact. It was hands to the face. It could have been a red card. He has chosen to keep things 11 v 11 and just show yellow. Inter Miami are annoyed. But on we go. After a several-minute stoppage, and LAFC trying to go right to the attack. Denis Bouanga got loose a couple times early. LAFC supporters section, the 32-52, making tons of noise behind that goal to the left, but Inter Miami attacking to the right, and here goes Messi in space. Messi trying to thread it through, intended for Picot. Segovia pressures and forces the turnover. Yannick Bright, Talasco Segovia. Gonzalo Lujan. Inter Miami reset. Messi and Busquets. Rare misplaced pass from him. Ordaz. Here's Bouanga. They want to get him 1v1 against Lujan, but Lujan does well, stands him up, concedes the throw. Luis Suarez trying to pressure. LAFC able to play around him. LAFC have done really well this year when teams have tried to press them. That happened in the first leg against Columbus Crew. Columbus came out with their usual patented high press, and LAFC played right around and through them and turned it into those dangerous counter-attacking transitions. That led to that dominant 3-0 win in the first leg that turned out to be just enough after a very shaky second leg. Inter Miami generally choosing not to press them high very much in this first half. Cengiz Under, a revelation since joining this side a couple months ago. Scored his first goal for them at the weekend in San Diego. Under now, threading one on the left side. Hollingshead makes the run and can't keep it in play. Goal kick. Segovia looked like he might have turned it over, but he was fouled. O'Shea Nation indicating that he was being held. Jordi Alba. Talasco Segovia. Segovia, aerial ball for Picot. It's been defended well in this first half, but here's Bright. His ball not the best. A little bit of a press from Inter Miami, and that's broken by LAFC, and Tillman has options to his right. Cengiz Ünder has Ordaz in front of him, has Bouanga on the left. Ünder slides it across to Bouanga, and Bouanga faces up Lujan. Bouanga onto his right, and his shot was blocked down. He'll try to shield it out, and he does. Corner LAFC, over half an hour in. In front of a thumping 32-52. Bouanga takes. Flicked clear. And Segovia on the run. Pink shirts racing up in support. Ball intended for Messi, didn't reach him. Mark Delgado intended for Ordaz. Nil-nil in the Concacaf Champions Cup quarterfinal first leg. Second leg a week from today in South Florida. Messi dropping back to pick it up and then feeding one over the top for Suarez. Just missed, but Suarez liked the idea. Luis with a quick throw out to Bouanga. And that pressure pays off for Inter Miami. They win a throw high up the field. LAFC have had injuries to their center back ranks this year, so not playing with their first choice center back pairing. Well, that's a bad ball out from Ustadi, and there's options here for LAFC. And weaving to the top of the 18. Heavy tackle by Yannick Bright, but he got the ball. And play on, says the referee. And the counter could be on for Miami now. And Messi's onto it. And Messi has room. And Messi accelerates. And stutter steps. And drops it off to Suarez, who got it back from Bright and fed Pico. Slid back for Lujan. And Inter Miami content to not force things. Alba, nobody making a run into the box in pink. It will be a throw. Atmosphere at BMO Stadium always great. Celebrities on hand. Steph Curry, of course, a moment ago that you saw. Falcone. Bright wanted to drop it off to Messi. Continued himself. Pico. Step overs. Tried the cross. That was blocked down by Bouanga. Here's Messi. Dropping for Noah Allen. Sergio Busquets. Messi. And a free kick. It's a bad one to give away. Segura doing so again as we're into the final 10 of the first half. Ball was gone. Ball was going to be turned over. Instead, another dangerous set piece for Inter Miami. So this one further out than the one earlier in the half that Messi put just over the bar. Also further to the left, looks like. But he has still certainly scored them from this range. Luis Suarez, of course, is capable too from this distance. But usually, he's just a decoy. Here's the foul. Well, Suarez won't even pretend to be a decoy this time. He's walked away. Everybody knows who's taking this. Lionel Messi. Hugo Lloris. On frame this time, but Lloris had it covered. Jesus, meanwhile, for Delgado, and now Bouanga. He hasn't been able to take on Gonzalo Lujan many times in this first half. And that's the matchup LAFC want. Lujan's done well. And now, Yannick Bright with the steal, and he feeds Messi and continues on the run himself. And Messi sliding it to Suarez, then Bright. And Bright has Picot on the overlap to his right. Tried to go back to Messi instead. It didn't work. Whose throw is this? Both sides claiming it. Delgado thought he was fouled. Yannick Bright had Picot screaming down that right side unmarked. You can never blame somebody for wanting to pass to Messi instead, but didn't come off this time. Now Bouanga in some space. This is what Inter Miami don't want. Bouanga running at Lujan, beating Lujan. Bouanga into the middle, and it's redirected just wide. It is a corner as it came off Alba last. Nathan Ordaz almost with a creative back heel flicked finish. Pass was just a little bit behind him. So a corner for LAFC. Be an out-swinging ball delivered by Cengiz Ünder. Ünder in low, not a great ball. Picot stooping to head it away. Back with Ünder now wide. And Ünder swings in a second time, and again it's blocked by Picot. And chested down by Messi, who first time volleys it in the direction of Suarez, and Tillman tracks it down for LAFC. Lloris, nice ball out for Bouanga, who touches it down to himself and takes on and beats Falcone. Denis Bouanga saved by Ustari and calmly steered back to him by Falcone. Well, that's twice in the last couple of minutes that Bouanga has gotten isolated one-on-one against an Inter Miami defender. Those were the kinds of situations LAFC wanted to create tonight. Inter Miami surviving that sequence. into the final 5 of the first half. First leg of the quarterfinal, 0-0. Messi jumping for that. It comes for Segovia. Chested by Busquets. Segovia wasn't expecting it. Found it anyway. Messi now. Onto his left. Messi up against 3. Clips it through. Looks for the return ball. Segovia instead taken away from him. Tillman hacks it away. Whistle blows. Foul against Segovia. Free kick LAFC. Will there be an opening goal before halftime? No pressure applied by Inter Miami. LAFC again handle it well. And Bouanga shrugging off Lujan. Jesus. Ryan Hollingshead. Down the line for the run of Ordaz. He's pulled Falcone out wide. It's not really where Falcone wants to be. Ordaz chose not to run at him. Tillman. And this is where LAFC have struggled. When they have the ball in this kind of area, finding that penetrating, incisive final ball. Will they find it here? No. But Jesus intercepts. Jesus turns. Comes through to Under, who keeps it moving for Delgado eventually. And Under again. Mark Delgado winning MLS Cup with crosstown arch rival LA Galaxy last year. Coming across the city to LAFC this season. He's been such a good pickup for them, helping stabilize that midfield. Again, he's not usually the guy to play that killer final ball in the final third. LAFC just don't really have that player in the midfield so far this year. That's why they've relied on those fast transitions. Here's Bouanga now, lots of room. Closed down by Picot. Leads it centrally. And then from distance, on goal, but easy for Ustadi off the foot of Delgado. Turned over by Miami. Edge of the 18. Tillman. Pulling it back for Jesus. Nice cross in. Straight to the forehead of Busquets. And now Messi. And he dumps Hollingshead on his rear end. Gets the return ball and glides his way forward. Gracefully away from one. Then Picot. Being told there will be 4 additional minutes at the end of this first half. We had that lengthy review for that possible red card to Ordaz, which turned out to be just a yellow instead. So all told, 5 minutes remaining in the first half. 5 minutes for somebody to grab an opening goal before the interval, and here goes Bouanga. Bumped, but onto it at the end line. Bouanga into the middle, took a deflection, and taken away then from Under, and worked out by Yannick Bright. Alba given plenty of time and space. Both sides would be okay going to halftime at 0-0 if nothing presents itself here in these final minutes of the opening 45. Busquets just being allowed to stand on the ball by LAFC. Again, that's their game plan. There's the official showing of 4 additional minutes. We are into those additional minutes now. There's space for Busquets suddenly, and Busquets sprays it wide. It's Alba, and Alba into the middle intended for Suarez, who's had a quiet first half. Busquets scoops. Allen feeds. Bright controls. Lujan surveys. Either side wanting to make that mistake that would change the fabric of this first leg right before halftime. Falcone with a heavy touch. Had the space to get away with that. Picault. Don't think he's had the first half that he was hoping for. All the way back to Ustadi. 3 minutes left. LAFC almost had one of those turnovers. Now they do. Jesus and Tillman. And there are runners here on the right. Ordaz and Under. Under cutting in on his left. Just a heavy touch. And he committed the foul then on Busquets. So 2 minutes of added time remaining in the first half. Touched by Suarez. Tracked down by Alba. Segovia didn't reach him. Fights for it. He's intercepted by Allen. Busquets. Allowed to advance. Slides for Messi. Messi wriggles away from one. Clips it over the top. I think he was trying to clip it to himself. Put a bit too much on it. Final minute of the first half then. Is there one more chance before the break? Bouanga hopes so, but not there. And he gives it to Lujan. Busquets. Messi. And Messi trying to feed Suarez. Not been able to connect in this first half the way they usually do. LAFC have bracketed Suarez really well. 30 seconds remaining in the first frame. Busquets. Messi returns it to him. A little bit heavy, but Segovia now. Messi heading it on. Suarez, first time, too high. And that will probably do it for the first half. Clever and intricate in those tight spaces, Inter Miami. There is the halftime whistle. It's been tense. It's been cagey. There have been moments of drama. There have been a couple chances. There was nearly a red card. That was a yellow instead. There have been no goals at a packed BMO Stadium in Los Angeles, California in the first leg of the Concacaf Champions Cup quarterfinal. It's Lionel Messi and Inter Miami and LAFC. They are 0-0 at the break. The numbers from the first half: 5 shots for LAFC, 4 for Inter Miami. Home side with 2 on frame, 1 for the visitors. 6 fouls for LAFC. They had the only card of the first half, which could have been much worse from their standpoint. 3 corners as well to Inter Miami's 1. Inter Miami, as expected, with more of the ball. LAFC, though, very stout in defense. They did look dangerous in transition. It's about what we expected. We have not had a goal yet. Highlights in just a moment. So the opening 45 minutes of this opening leg in this Concacaf Champions Cup quarterfinal in Los Angeles. Inter Miami dangerous early. Fafa Picault arriving at the back post. Whether it was a shot or an attempted cross, he didn't really get all of it. Inter Miami weren't able to connect with the second ball. There were dangerous half moments for the Herons, but they weren't able to create anything clear-cut. Lionel Messi had some classy touches. He had a couple free kick opportunities. This one put just over the bar onto the roof of the net early on. He would have another later in the half that he would put on frame, but Messi more or less contained by LAFC in the first 45. The question will be, how deep into this game can he go? As Messi was allowed to accelerate there, but eventually dispossessed as the black and gold shirts caught up with him. This was the big talking point of the first half. Nathan Ordaz, it was a VAR review that called O'Shane Nation to the monitor, but he chose to only award a yellow card instead of a red. Lionel Messi, that was the second free kick that he did put on frame, but a simple stop for Hugo Lloris. Much simpler than he may have expected. So Messi, some moments in the first half, but none of them definitive just yet. 0-0 at the break in this first leg.
You don't want to be my rival. You better respect my title.
Making history.
Vancouver goaler, no Canadian team has gone before.
Gallup's there. And Tigres storm their way. Giroud. Suarez. Lionel Messi. Quarterfinals of the Concacaf Champions Cup. Back for the second half here at BMO Stadium in Los Angeles, California. LAFC, Inter Miami, 0-0 after 45 minutes in the first leg of this Concacaf Champions Cup quarterfinal. The winner of this tie advances to the semifinals to face the winner of Vancouver Whitecaps and Pumas, who finished 1-1 in British Columbia earlier tonight in their first leg. David Beckham, Inter Miami brass on hand, making the cross-country flight for this. It was a first half that was fairly conservative, and we wondered if it might be. Inter Miami, again, trying not to expose themselves to dangerous turnovers, which would allow LAFC to play their dangerous counter-attacking transition game. LAFC packing in the defense, not allowing Lionel Messi and friends with space to maneuver between them. How long in this game will Lionel Messi go? How long can he go? That's the question. He's played sparingly over the last couple months. Went a few weeks without playing at all. Came on early in the second half on Saturday, scored within 2 minutes of being subbed on. So he played the last, if you include stoppage time, about the last 45 minutes of that game. So how much more does he have in the tank for Javier Mascherano in this second half? O'Shane Nation had that big decision to make in the first half, choosing to just award a yellow to Nathan Ordaz after he was summoned to the monitor to review a possible red card infraction. It will be Inter Miami to kick things off in the second half. In the pink, they attack from right to left. We're back underway in this first leg. Who will find the breakthrough and that crucial opening goal in this quarterfinal? What attacking adjustments might Inter Miami make early in this second half? No changes coming out of halftime for either side. Still the original starting 11 for both teams. Turnover out of the back from Inter Miami. Donnie Barnes, glad to have you with us. Blockbuster quarterfinal here between two of the biggest clubs in the United States. Turned into two of the bigger clubs on the continent over the last decade. Both have tons of star power on and off the pitch. They have run into each other in the quarterfinal. LAFC trying to get to their third final this decade in the Champions Cup. Runners-up in 2020 and 2023. Inter Miami got to the quarterfinal last year before bowing out to Monterrey. Trying to go to the semis for the first time in their history. Competition that began back in 1962 has had 30 different clubs win this title. Highlights how competitive it's been over the decades. Great diversity of champions we've had in this CONCACAF region. Lionel Messi. A couple moments in the first half. Here's Talasco Segovia. Jordi Alba. Luis Suarez. Didn't have his best first half. Didn't have a great game against Philadelphia Union at the weekend either. He'd had a terrific start to the season. He scored in both legs against Cavalier in the round of 16, both in South Florida and in Jamaica. Touching it here toward Yannick Bright, but it was cut out. LAFC in transition now, and Puwanka's on the run. This is dangerous. Goalkeeper out. Ustadi had to get that right, and he did. Well, Oscar Ustadi coming out of nowhere to break up that attack. Risky, but effective. LAFC, though, able to win a couple turnovers in the middle of the park. And the referee stops play. And he summons over Alba. He was claiming he was elbowed by Cengiz Ünder. Well, they have a disagreement, clearly. O'Shane Nation trying to calm things down. Let's see. Yeah, A little push from Alba. A little flap out from Under. Not a lot in that, but O'Shane Nation wanting to make sure it stays that way. Looking like an exasperated school teacher, O'Shane Nation. Would you both cut it out, you guys? So, off we go again with LAFC in possession. In the black and gold. They switch it out to that left side. It's where so much of their potency comes from. Those long diagonal switches. Into the box it goes, repelled by Alba. Picot, after the second ball, does well. Fafa Picot wasn't able to get into the attack very much in the first half, but had some crucial defensive trackbacks. That was another one there. It's Inter Miami's throw. Oscar Ustadi continues to impress in goal for Inter Miami. Continues to make that starting job his for now. That's from Messi. He runs into Eddie Segura. Referee sees nothing wrong with that. LAFC in the attack with Bouanga, who skips around Gonzalo Lujan and skips around a second and then feeds one through, and a body tumbles over. It's still loose and then hacked away. And Inter Miami get out of trouble for now. And Picot will calm things down. Now Messi. Picot on the run. Messi trailing. Segura to the left. Suarez ahead. Here is Luis Suarez, able to face goal. Chooses to pull it back. Over 5 minutes gone in the second half. Alba has drifted into the middle now. Noah Allen acting as the left back at the moment. Sergio Busquets. Inter Miami want to get him on the ball more and have him pull more strings in the second half. Tends to be when they're at their best. As is just about any team with Sergio Busquets on the field. You can tell Inter Miami have been told by Javier Mascherano and his staff before the game and probably again at halftime, look, if it's not totally there, don't force it. Don't turn the ball over in the middle of the park. Here's Messi, between the lines, feeding it through towards Suarez, but there comes Lloris. The 32-52 for LAFC behind that goal remain expectant. Runs out of play. It's an LAFC throw. Jordi Alba. Messi touches it to Busquets. Now Alba makes the run down the left. Catches up to this ball by the touchline. Busquets returning for Alba by the end line. Pulls it back. It didn't reach Messi. And it's volleyed away. Bouanga throws the shoulder into Lujan and wins the ball. And Bouanga looks to turn provider on the break in the direction of Nathan Ordaz. Read by Noah Allen. Was mostly a left back in past years, but has become more and more comfortable in that center back role. That was another good play by him. He's been very composed this year for Inter Miami. 8 minutes into the second half. Buonga. Was he fouled? No, he was not, says O'Shane Nation. Buonga continues to ask why. Busquets put it off Tillman. Ordaz shields with his body. And he wins the free kick. Allen can't believe it. Inter Miami thought they had a little press going there against the touchline where they could win the ball back. Pressure was relieved. Now there's that diagonal switch out to the wing. Timothy Tillman. Ordaz. And the overlapping run down the left. Hollingshead. Poor cross. He had Under making the run in front, and Under was in space. And Hollingshead could not pick him out. Best move of the second half for LAFC. Right here, Under was alone. I think he wanted the ball played to his feet. Hollingshead tried to put it on his forehead instead, but overshot him by a good distance. Messi, was he pinned along the touchline? He was able to wriggle free for a moment. We've played the first 10 of the second half. Still without a goal in this first leg in the quarterfinal. Difficult to say which team has had the better chances so far. Probably LAFC, and they have a chance here on the run. Ordaz could be through. Heavy first touch. Ordaz has to carry it wide. Chops it back. Falcone the touch. Tillman against a body. Allen with a crucial block. Tillman pulls it back and recycles. Delgado. Tillman again. All the pink shirts are back for Inter Miami now. That was a great chance for LAFC. They're definitely looking like the more dangerous team early in this second half. Their fans cranking up the noise again. Boy, Nathan Ordaz with a better first touch. I think he was in. Here he is again, turning away from Busquets and striking! Nathan Ordaz! What a moment! What a sight! What a sound! Black and gold bedlam at BMO. 1-0 LAFC in the quarterfinal. He didn't miss this time. His touch was perfect. His strike was even better. Got it out of his feet. He froze Falcone. He buried it in the corner. He beat Ustadi. And they're beating Inter Miami at the moment. A sold-out crowd thumping now. And now Inter Miami in some trouble. They could really use an away goal. If they don't score one, they'll be in a precarious position going into the second leg. Here goes Picot onto the attack for the first time in this second half. by Suarez, but couldn't control it. It's out for a goal kick. Lloris going long out of the back. LAFC able to win the second ball, and then they'll have a throw deep in their own territory. It was a relatively tame first half. It has burst into life in this second 45. LAFC were looking more dangerous. Danger has paid off now on the scoreboard. It's Inter Miami who need a response. And with that away goals rule, if they don't score in this away leg, just one LAFC goal in the second leg in Fort Lauderdale next week could be decisive. Segovia, Busquets. Does Javier Mascherano start to think about making some changes? He's without Tadeo Allende, who's injured. And that's a shame for Inter Miami because Allende was off to a great start this season. Here's Messi, Segovia, Jordi Alba. They're having a lot of trouble finding their way through these black and gold shirts, though. Over an hour gone in this first leg. Bright keeps possession well. Messi. It's a good ball wide. Chance to swing in across. It takes a deflection and falls kindly for Lloris. Denis Bouanga struggling to shake off a knock that he apparently just picked up. LAFC will hope he can walk that off. Because now that they're leading, Bouanga becomes even more dangerous on a counterattack. Miami choose to push forward more, but first they give away a free kick. A dangerous set piece coming up for LAFC, who continue to be very much the better team in this second half. Bouanga and Under around it. It's Under with the lefts. Good ball in, it's just over the bar. The delivery from Under was terrific. Just leaning away as he made contact. LAFC win it back. Inter Miami struggling. They have looked disjointed in this second half. LAFC's game plan is working. It has them in the lead now. And Ordaz, good ball wide for Bouanga. Bouanga against Picot, cuts in on his right. Bouanga scuffed it. And Tillman will track it down. Palencia. Swung in by Under, but overhit. continue to give the ball away, Inter Miami, and here's Bouanga in space. Bouanga cuts it back. Ordaz on the turn. It's blocked. Second ball. Blocked on the line. Shouts for handball. Not given. It stays 1-0. That close to a crucial second for LAFC, but not yet. Maxi Falcone saved the goal. Wow, how did that stay out? Ordaz first, then Tillman. And down to a knee to block it off the line was Falcone. Looks there like it came off his right thigh. Tough to see definitively, but VAR is satisfied that there was no handball infraction. Miami haven't had a meaningful attack in quite a while. They have looked pretty short on ideas against this defensive structure of LAFC. Messi as we approach the final 25 of this first leg. Falcone, Segovia. Segovia makes the run down the left. Good ball from Alba. Segovia up against Tillman. Can't escape. Alba, though. Square ball for Yannick Bright. Lionel Messi, first time ball, didn't connect. And then Tillman was tripped. And a card out for Talasco Segovia. First booking of the night for Inter Miami. Nathan Ordaz still on a card for LAFC. Inter Miami are going to make a double change in just a moment. They're going to bring on Benjamin Kramaski and Robert Taylor for Fafa Picot and Talasco Segovia. So Segovia, having just picked up that card, is immediately subbed off. Fafa Picot never really clicked for him tonight. Benjamin Kramaski just turned 20 a couple months ago. One of MLS's bright young talents. He had a great assist last weekend against Philadelphia Union to Robert Taylor, who opened the scoring in that game. Taylor's had over 100 appearances for Inter Miami since 2022. Also had a number of caps for the Finnish national team. Can that spark Inter Miami? Suarez not there. They had something on there, it seemed. Suarez gave it right back. Busquets. Bright. Now Messi, knifing between. Messi in some space and can't connect with Kramaski. Hunted down by Alba, who keeps it in. No, he lets it run out. It is a corner for Inter Miami. Took a deflection off an LAFC defender. They don't think so. Into the final quarter of this game. First corner of the second half for Inter Miami, and just their second of the match. Alba angles it short. And then Alba lifts it into the middle, and Falcone rises. It's off the line and saved by Lloris. An awkward bounce. Lloris saw it late and almost snuck inside that post. Falcone and that floppy hair of his able to make contact. Got it on goal. Suarez claimed he was brought down. No shouts on deaf ears. Miami looking a little bit better since those changes a couple minutes ago. LAFC are going to bring on David Martinez in just a moment for Cengiz Under. They're not ready to make that change just yet. Here is Under. Tillman trying to feed through Buwanga's. Good idea. Pretty good ball as well, just out of his reach. And nearly a steal for LAFC. It falls now for Jesus. Jesus given room. Jesus from distance. Rising into the stands. Miami trying to advance the ball, not finding success. There are 20 minutes to play in this first leg. A game that LAFC lead by a goal to nil thanks to Nathan Ordaz in the 57th minute. Card is out for Sergio Busquets. And the tempers are fraying in Los Angeles. Busquets accusing Cengiz Under of diving. Under has really gotten under Inter Miami's skin tonight. Remember Jordi Alba had a little flap with him in the first half. Well, that was Under's last action of the night. He goes off. David Martinez comes on. Martinez, an electric talent. His finishing, his final ball, sometimes still a work in progress, but he's fast, he's creative, he can dribble through and around people. A great weapon to bring on when you have a late lead and you know you're going to have some chances on the counter. That's what LAFC would figure for these final 18.5 minutes. This series is set up perfectly for them right now. If they can maintain this 0 at least and keep Inter Miami off the board from an away goals perspective, they would be able to play this same kind of style in the second leg away from home. That's what they want. Over the top this goes for Tillman, but into the hands of Ustadi. An Inter Miami goal would change things. We've seen plenty of games over the last couple of years where Inter Miami haven't been great for long stretches, but have found that magic moment, that telling moment, that moment of class and quality and incision. They have so much talent that's able to make moments like that happen. Can they find one of those in these final minutes tonight? And what has been a difficult night for them. Bright. Alba. It's a great ball for Bright. He found some space and is in the box now. Pulls it back for Messi. Messi trying to dink it over the top. Flicks it down to himself, wins it back on the slide. Beats one man, beats a second. Tries to slide it through to Alba, back toward Messi. It just won't quite come off for Miami so far tonight. Magical sequence from Messi. Again, the end product not quite there. Miami still trying to find gaps around the outside. That Messi to Suarez connection has been very effectively cut off by LAFC tonight. A number of times where Messi has tried to one-touch it to Suarez around the edge of the 18. LAFC have had a black and gold shirt in the way almost every time. And that's wasted again by Suarez, who's starting to show his frustration. And both these teams would really like their chances in a semifinal against either Vancouver or Pumas. And they finished 1-1 in their first leg in British Columbia earlier tonight. They'll play the second in Mexico City next week. Both Inter Miami and LAFC will feel that they have a great chance of reaching the final if they can get past each other in this quarterfinal. That is again misfired by the pink and black. LAFC throw coming up on the final quarter of an hour of this first leg. Miami starting to press higher. And again, that could be dangerous against LAFC, who love to play out of that press. Fans didn't think that should have been an Inter Miami throw. It was, though. Busquets saved by Allen, dispossessed, and here go LAFC on the counter. Ordaz has Bouanga to his left. Bouanga returns to Ordaz. Lost his momentum as the ball was behind him. Tillman now. It's Tillman wide. It's been a Steve Cherundolo masterclass so far. Still time, though, for Inter Miami to change the narrative in this Hollywood drama. Tillman intercepts. Ordaz touches. Tillman distributes. First touch for David Martinez now. Noah Allen was in the way. Now Delgado distributes on the left. Hollingshead. Bouanga trying to wriggle through three pink shirts. Hollingshead again. Cuts in on his right. Pulls it back. And flip toward Ordaz. It comes to him. Trying to pull it back, and then the foul committed by Martinez. Not sure if Ordaz was expecting that ball to actually reach him. Still his goal in the 57th minute that separates these sides. Getting into those late stages. Games are won and lost. Even though it's just the first leg, these two-legged ties can be decided in moments and minutes like this. One goal either direction really swings things dramatically. If LAFC get another on the counter and win this leg 2-0, they are in a commanding position going into the second leg in Fort Lauderdale. If Inter Miami level this, though, and it ends 1-1, then they would be in charge going back home. Yannick Bright, Messi, continues to stay out there, trying to get through all 90, it looks like. Here he is again. Yannick Bright with some room. Messi, who's had very little tonight. Messi claiming a deflection. O'Shea Nation says no. Goal kick. Wasn't much else on for Inter Miami. Hasn't been a lot on for them all night. It's mostly been moments like that. Lionel Messi trying to make it happen by himself, which he's certainly capable of doing, but has not done so far. He's had a couple of those sequences where he's beaten a couple, beaten 3 even, but has still had more black and gold shirts in the way. Busquets. Here's Noah Allen. It's returned to him, and then he leaves it short for Suarez, who shows his frustration again. Here goes Martinez. He has electric speed. Dispossessed by Yannick Bright. Into the final 10 minutes as Bright is fouled. Federico Redondo is going to come on for Inter Miami. Not going to come on yet, though. They take the free kick quickly, and they surprised LAFC a bit. And here's Messi. Lionel Messi. Suarez prods it along for Alba. And Alba, Messi chests it down. It ran away from him, and it comes to Suarez, deflected wide. Corner for Inter Miami. And now the change as Redondo comes on for Yannick Bright. Messi takes the corner short. Alba for Noah Allen, who has tons of room and shoots against a body. Well, they invited him to take that strike, and so he did. Kremaski hasn't been heard from much since he came on. Busquets. Alba, heavy touch, uncharacteristic, gave it away. Here's Bouanga. Bouanga cutting in field. Silky skill. Martinez now can turn the corner and accelerate away. David Martinez. On the left side it goes. Martinez once more. Was he fouled? He was. Free kick on the edge of the area. Redondo just on a moment ago. Maybe clipped his heel right there. LAFC make a change now. They bring in Odin Thiago Holm, a 22-year-old attacking midfielder from Sweden, signed from Celtic in January. Timothy Tillman makes way. Strong shift from Tillman. Doing a lot of defending tonight. Odin Thiago Holm. Thiago was not his given middle name. He added that middle name when he was a teenager. He grew up idolizing Thiago Alcantara. Played for Barcelona, of course, and for Liverpool. Added Thiago to his name officially. Could LAFC add a second goal? Give themselves cushion in this quarterfinal. Bouanga over it. Denis Bouanga into the wall. Like Bouanga was trying to hit a little knuckleball, drop ball kind of free kick. Didn't quite work. This result would still work for LAFC, though. Not optimal for Inter Miami and Javier Mascherano. They're starting to run out of time to change it before they head to South Florida next week for the second leg. Busquets was fouled. It's the first action for home to give away that free kick. This one a little far out even for Messi, so he just plays it short. Holm hacking Busquets down. Can come for this, and LAFC closing in on a big first leg victory. They took the first leg 3-0 against Columbus Crew in the round of 16. Just clung on in the second leg, but did enough. Final 5 minutes of the 90. Ordaz with the goal in the 57th minute. That's been all. That might be all, but here's Messi trying to change things. Messi, edge of the box. Lionel Messi, fumbled but regathered by Hugo Lloris. Hit it decently. Took a funny bounce on Lloris. May have had a slight deflection off the defender. Ordaz. Palencia makes the run. LAFC content to keep it. They want to keep this 0. That is paramount, even more so than scoring a second goal. This is fed through, and Ordaz might get there. Ordaz, Falcone makes the challenge. Referee wags his finger to the penalty shouts. Goal kick is the decision. It's not a corner either. Ordaz has been a problem tonight. It's exactly what LAFC want, of course. His strike in the 57th minute looks like deciding this first leg as things stand. And there's a pitch invader on the field having to be dealt with by security. They'll be thrilled with what they've seen tonight. Terrific defensive effort by LAFC. Lionel Scaloni, the Argentine national team manager, in attendance tonight. Another very successful international window for them, defeating both their arch rivals, Uruguay and Brazil, 4-1 at the Estadio Monumental in Buenos Aires. Lionel Messi did not participate in that window for Argentina. He was rested. Fan has been taken off the pitch. Ball is back in play. Approaching stoppage time in the second half. Very little time for Inter Miami to grab that precious away goal. They still do have some time, and Allen and Suarez. Around the left side, Robert Taylor hasn't had many touches. Tries to win a corner. He keeps it in play for Alba. And Alba swings it across near post, and it bounces on Lloris, who gathers it in. Suarez tumbling over as it was delivered. Glaring at the fans behind that goal. Is there one more twist tonight? Alba couldn't skip around Martinez. Martinez would have been happy to win a free kick. Smartly not given away by Taylor, but it is now by Redondo. He's had a couple of those since he came on. Into the final minute of the 90. Buwanga. The back heel down the line didn't reach him, but it's a throw for LAFC. That's just fine for them. Late defensive substitution for LAFC as Marlon comes on. His first appearance in a few weeks, has been battling an injury. Ordaz comes off. Marlon is generally a center back, so this is very much a shore things up defensively kind of change for LAFC for these final seconds. How many minutes of added time will we have? We're about to find out from fourth official Rion Radix. The answer is 4. 4 minutes remaining in this first leg of the quarterfinal. You can see LAFC in no hurry to take this throw, to find a ball, to put it back in play. They are very happy with this result as it stands. In a tournament with the away goals rule in effect, it's better to win 1-0 than to win 2-1. Busquets gives away another foul. He is on a yellow card, remember. Fouled home. Well, Busquets may be fortunate there. On a yellow card. Some referees in some situations would have shown a second there for a foul like that. The foot was high, was careless. And that would be enormous, of course, because a red card in the first leg means you miss the second leg. Although a 1-0 defeat away from home in an opening leg isn't great in a tournament like this, losing your key central midfielder would make it much worse. Fortunately for Inter Miami, that's not the case at the moment. Into the 3rd minute of stoppage time. Free kick for Inter Miami. It's all coming to a scrappy end as it stands, unless there's one more moment. Taylor trying to flip it around the corner. Couldn't do it to a teammate, though. Marlon. Hugo Lloris has made a couple saves tonight, but hasn't needed to be spectacular. That's a testament to how well his team have defended in front of him. Taylor. Alba. Very little time left now for Inter Miami. Redondo's hardly been able to get into the attack since coming on. Messi. Does he have one more moment? Messi wriggles through 2. And Messi wins a free kick. And this should be the final act of this opening leg. He had 2 free kicks in the first half. He put the first one just over, the second one on frame, but at Hugo Lloris. And what can he produce from this in the final minute of second half stoppage time? A four-man wall in front of him. The game's great, staring it down in the final seconds of this quarterfinal first leg. It's Lionel Messi, and it's over the bar, and it may be over for tonight. Got it up, couldn't get it down. And it looks like Inter Miami will be down a goal going back home next week. One more goal kick for Hugo Lloris. O'Shea Nation plays on for now. Messi in the direction of Suarez, but again they can't connect. Messi wins it back one more time, dispossessed. Noah Allen. And there's full time. And the first act in this two-part drama belongs to Los Angeles, but it still comes to a cliffhanger end. It's LAFC on top after 90 minutes in Hollywood. The scene will shift to South Florida next week for the finale. It finishes tonight thanks to a Nathan Ordaz banger in the 57th minute in the first leg of the Champions Cup quarterfinal. LAFC 1, Messi and Inter Miami 0.
I'm giving your cue. Okay, we're looking at that. Okay, yeah. I mean, you can look at me. Okay, I'll look at you.
Tonight's player of the match from LAFC, Nathan Ordaz.
Nathan, congrats on the game-winning goal. Has to be one of the bigger of your young career. Just talk us through it.
Yeah, you know, it was a tight game. These guys are good. Obviously, Messi's amazing, so it's a huge game. You know, and I got the ball, I saw some space, and I just let it fly, honestly. Thank God it went in. All glory to God.
What did you guys see tonight? What makes you confident about going into Miami for the second leg and advancing to the semis?
Yeah, we're up on the aggregate, so, you know, we don't really need to win the game. We just need to see it out. But, you know, it's always better to look to try and win the game. It's safer that way. So I think as long as we work hard, stay tight, stay close, do everything together, then we're going to be okay.
Yeah, good luck.
Thank you.
No, you can do it. Yeah, yeah. Nathan! No, that's done.
Tus impresiones del partido esta noche.
Bueno, buenas noches. Yo creo que fue un partido duro, un partido donde sabíamos el juego de ellos cuál era. Yo creo que estuvimos bastante compactos, por ahí nos faltó un poco más girar la pelota un poco más rápido, que era donde podíamos encontrar los espacios. Pero nada, yo creo que el esfuerzo del equipo hoy fue muy bueno. Hay que afinar algunos detalles, pero no fue mal partido.
¿Qué tanto la intensidad por momentos les faltó?
Por ahí, en intensidad por ahí de juego, porque después corrimos a la par de ellos sabíamos que tenían buenos jugadores, que físicamente eran buenos y arriba más que nada eran desequilibrantes o más o menos esperaban el error para salirnos de contra, pero nada, yo creo que, como te digo, por ahí hay que girarlo un poco más rápido a la pelota, creo que nos faltó eso para encontrar los espacios y nada, ahora a descansar y a esperar allá el partido de vuelta, que creo que va a ser un partido duro también.
Muchas gracias.
Muchas gracias a usted.
Maxi Falcone for Inter Miami talking about how compact LAFC were in defense and how Inter Miami weren't able to move the ball quickly enough to control those spaces and move them around. It's the first defeat for Inter Miami under Javier Mascherano. Still open going into the second leg next week. We'll have highlights and stats in a moment. In fact, we'll have stats right now. Shots end up 15-10 in favor of LAFC. They had 4 on target to 3 for Inter Miami. 2 yellow cards for the visitors, 1 for LAFC. Remember, there was that review in the first half. It was Nathan Ordaz who could have been sent off by O'Shane Nation after he was summoned to the monitor. He chose not to, and then Ordaz, the one who scored that goal in the second half. So that will be a talking point, certainly, but LAFC doing what they needed to do to take a lead. So let's go through the highlights from the 90 minutes in the first leg of this quarterfinal. As Messi met at midfield, Inter Miami came out strongly. Fafa Picault had a good chance here on the back post. Whether he was trying to shoot or cross, he wasn't really able to do either one. And like most of these Inter Miami attackers, it was a tough night for Fafa Picault. Arriving late at the back post. He arrived at the right time, really, but the final ball was not effective tonight for anyone in pink and black. Lionel Messi had 3 free kick opportunities tonight as well, and 2 of them were off frame. 1 was tamely on target. Again, in his first start in quite a while, he was probably not at his best either. Had plenty of classy touches, some good runs, but every time LAFC just had enough black and gold shirts in the way to keep him from hurting them. This was the free kick that he put on frame late in the first half, but a simple save for Hugo Lloris, who, again, didn't really have a spectacular save to make tonight. A testament to how well LAFC defended in front of him against the might and the power and the skill of Inter Miami. And then early in the second half, the goal arrived, and what a goal it was from Nathan Ordaz, the young attacker who's made such an impression early this season, so much so that Steve Cherundolo started him on a night like this. And boy, did Ordaz reward that. After he could have been sent off in the first half, he put LAFC in front in the 57th minute with a fantastic finish from outside the 18. And on a night with so many stars on the pitch and off it, it was one of the youngest players on the pitch who made the difference. LAFC defeat Inter Miami. They'll take that lead to South Florida next week for the second leg. For our entire great crew, I'm Donnie Barnes saying good night from a vibrant BMO Stadium in Los Angeles, California. Again, the second leg next Wednesday. But here tonight in Hollywood, thanks to Nathan Ordaz, thanks to that entire defense for Los Angeles Football Club, thanks to perhaps a rare off night from Messi and company, it ends in Hollywood. LAFC 1, Inter Miami 0 in the first leg of this Concacaf Champions Cup quarterfinal. Good night from Southern California.
those looking for